What's good, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I'm your host, Stepfon, and tonight I'm going to be talking about and celebrating one of rap's beloved MVPs, the forever king of NY, New York's greatest MVPs, one of the greatest rap storytellers and forever's Brooklyn's finest, the Black Frank White, Christopher George Latore Wallace, on his birthday celebration. So sit back and enjoy yourself on this musical and birthday celebration for the King of New NY throughout the video. Please don't forget to like, share, and comment on the video. Subscribe to my channel if you're new. Welcome back to the channel if you're a returning subscriber. Also, don't forget to turn on your notification for new videos. Thank y'all for your support. I deeply appreciate it. So here we go. Happy heavenly birthday to one of the greatest rap MVPs, one of the greatest rap storytellers, lyricists, the forever king of NY and Brooklyn's finest. I still can't believe that today he would turn 50 years old if he was still alive. The rap giant was larger than life during his short but impactful career. 2 months ago marked the 25th anniversary of the day we lost an iconic rap king when he was murdered in a drive-by shooting at the young age of 24. And March 25th of the 25th anniversary of the greatest rap classes ever made with Life After Death. During his short life and career, he went from street hustler from Brooklyn to the king and savior of East Coast rap when the East Coast was looking for that next multi-talented platinum star. Growing up, there was a few of my all-time favorites that made a lasting impact on me and made me become a fan of the game, lifetime fan of the game. Christopher Wallace was born charismatic and very complex. He had a unique way of using his unique storytelling ability to bring fans into his world and make you dance at the same time. Although his time here was cut short, he's arguably one of the greatest rappers to ever live. This multi-divisional combo subject matter, styles, and skill set is at the heart of Biggie's staying power and the reason why he's the greatest of all time. Let's think of terms of albums for a moment. Biggie only released 2 actual studio albums, 1994 Ready to Die and 1997's Life After Death. Since both of those albums are both disputable classics and hip-hop game changers in their time, Biggie left an impact on hip-hop that even the best rappers couldn't match 2 or 3 times the input. At this point, those who are in agreement with me would typically city the boomness, smoothness of Biggie's flow. He's just so enjoyable to listen to. Truly from the bottom, Biggie used his God-gifted skills of hip-hop to find relief of the environment that he grew up in the early 90s. The New York rap scene was searching for a new song. West Coast hip-hop had taken hold of the game, taking the style and the sound that compasses California life to dizzier new heights. Enter a hungry young rapper from Brooklyn on with charismatic flow and hard-hitting lyrics. Biggie was as uncomfortable on a radio smash as he was a grimy mixtape cut. His debut album, Ready to Die, became an instant classic, solidifying his place as one of the rap's most skilled and lyricists and reestablished the Big Apple spot in hip-hop. Sadly, Biggie would be killed before his release of his second album, Life After Death, released just weeks after his murder. would go on to become another hit with fans and music critics alike. We lost a legend on March 9th, 1997, but his music will live on, inspiring a lot of people, but scores of rappers that come. Today, we celebrate what would have been his 50th birthday with our favorite memories and blasting our favorite Biggie classes in remembrance of the forever king of NY. Whether it's a party, a movie, a passing call, or even the radio, the sounds of Biggie Smalls' music blaring through the speakers is in substance as impactful now as it was first introduced to him in 1994. His rhymes pattern, his words, and overall legend status still resonate a new generation of fans during a time where lyricism wasn't as celebrated as it was during the golden era of the mid to late 90s. On May 21st, 1972, the future king of New York and Brooklyn finest, Christopher Wallace, was born to Jamaican parents. His mother, Violetta Wallace, taught preschool and worked other jobs in order to give her son a solid education. His father already left the family when he was 2. Growing up in the Bedford-Stuyvesant neighborhood of Brooklyn, he was raised Catholic, but at an early age he was surrounded by drug addicts and dealers. As a result, by his early teens, Biggie had already joined a life that was already around it. Although he was a good student, he was dealing drugs, and as a teen who fell into a life of crime, he would be arrested numerous times during his short life. He attended George Westinghouse Career and Tech Educational High School in downtown Brooklyn, which was his friends and future rappers Jay-Z and Busta Rhymes also attended. According to his mother, he was a good student but developed a smart-ass attitude at the new school. At the age of 17, he dropped out of school and became more involved in crime. At the age of 17, Biggie was arrested for selling crack and spent 9 months in a North Carolina prison before making bail. As he navigated his young, uncertain life, Biggie started making music. He hooked up with a crew called the Ogo Brothers and experimented on his own. After his release from jail, he made a demo tape entitled Microphone Murderer while calling himself Biggie Smalls, the name of Calvin Lockhart character in the 1975 film Let's Do It Again. And to his own stature and obesity at 6 feet 3 inches and 300 to 380 pounds. Due to legal issues with the name, he later adopted a second stage name, which was the Notorious B.I.G. Interested in rap from a young age, his skill with words, both verbal and written, was soon celebrated and appreciated. By the age of 13, he was nearly 6 feet tall and heavy-set. His physical presence earned him the childhood nickname Big, which he capitalized on in his career. Around his neighborhood, Biggie began building a reputation as a musician and as one of the youngest, hottest talent in the street. After a tape of his landed in the hands of Mr. C, a well-known DJ, Biggie was featured in the hip-hop magazine The Source. The article was enough to catch the attention of Sean Puffy Combs, a young producer at Uptown Entertainment, a New York-based specialized in hip-hop and R&B. When he split from Uptown to start his own label, Bad Boy Entertainment, he brought Biggie with him. On August 8th, 1993, his longtime girlfriend, Jen Jackson, gave birth to his first child, Tiana. Although the couple had split by then, a college dropout, he promised his daughter everything she wanted. He continued to deal drugs to support himself and his daughter. Puffy discovered that and begged him to quit for good. In 1993, he gained exposure on a remix to Mary J. Blige's single Real Love. The Real Love remix single was followed by another remix of a Mary J. Blige song, What's the 411, which continued his success until his debut as a solo artist, which single Party and Bullshit on the soundtrack to the 1993 film Who's the Man. Around this time, he became friends with rap superstar Tupac Shakur, who was also his mentor. The pair and their friendship grew as close, offering traveling together whenever they were not working. According to several people close to Biggie, he was a frequent guest at Pac's home, and they spent time together when Tupac was in California or Washington, D.C. 1994 was definitely a year to remember in rap, and especially for Biggie, his life and new success. He appeared alongside LL Cool J, Rampage, and Busta Rhymes on a remix to his own Bad Boy label mate Craig Mack, Flava In Ya Ear. The remix reaching number 9 on the Billboard Hot 100. From the production and order, the lyrical bars and order, and the way the video was created, it was nothing but classic. Enough that you can't get enough of and always stay on repeat. And at this time, he met a beautiful young singer named Faith Evans at a photo shoot, and then in a short time they became a married couple in 94. A few days later, he dropped Juicy from his 1994 debut album, Ready to Die, one of the greatest rap songs ever made. Juicy contains a sample of a Mattoon 1983 song, Juicy Fruit. The song is a rags to riches chronicle. Big chronicles his childhood years living in poverty, his initial dreams of becoming a rapper, early musical influence, his time dealing drugs, criminal involvement, and his success in the music industry and current lavish lifestyle. One of the song's lines read, "Time to blow up like the World Trade," referencing the February 26, 1993 bombing of the World Trade Center. On September 13th, 1994, he released his classic debut, Ready to Die, on Bad Boy Records. The album included the hit singles Juicy, Big Papa, Warning, and One More Chance. The record became an instant classic among fans and critics. Ready to Die was subject to widespread critical acclaim and soon a commercial success. It has been ranked by many critics as one of the greatest hip-hop albums, as well as one of the greatest albums of all time. The album features production by Bad Boy founder Sean Puffy Combs, Easy Mo Bee, Chucky Thomason, DJ Premier, and Lord Finesse, among others. The partly autobiographical album tells the story of the rapper's experience as a young criminal, and it was the only studio album released during his lifetime. One of my all-time favorite NY rap classics ever. Big Papa was released as the second single on December 24, 1994, and like the previous single, it was a hit on multiple charts. Produced by Chucky Thomason, it reached number 6 on the Billboard Hot 100, number 4 on the Hot R&B and hip hop singles and tracks, and number 1 on the Hot rap singles. It sold over 1 million units and certified platinum. It samples the classic anthem Between the Sheets by the Isley Brothers. The song was nominated at the 1996 Grammy Awards for Best Solo Performance, but lost to Coolio's Gangsta Paradise. One More Chance was released as the third single on June 9th, 1995. The single was the remix of the album track. It was produced by Puff Daddy and featured a sample from the bard Stay With Me. It peaked at number 2 on the Billboard Hot 100 and reached number 1 on the Hot R&B and hip hop singles and tracks and Hot rap tracks. It sold over 1 million copies and certified platinum. He quickly became one of New York City's biggest and best rappers. His face was everywhere, from magazine covers to award shows, and his videos were on constantly rotation on MTV. He definitely became East Coast savior and king of NY without a doubt. The young hip-hop artist became a full-fledged star. In that same year, The Source named the rapper Best New Artist, Best Live Performer, and Lyricist of the Year, and Ready to Die was certified 6 times platinum. 1995 was also his year, as he extended his star power through different guest appearances. Michael Jackson this time around, and R. Kelly, You To Be Happy. Also in 1995, his new group which consisted of his friends from childhood like Lil Kim and Lil C's, who went on and to have solo careers later named Junior Mafia. Junior Masters at Finding Intelligent Attitudes released their debut album Conspiracy. The record went gold, and the singles Players Anthem and Get Money, both featuring Big, went gold and platinum. He continued to work with different R&B artists, collaborating with R&B groups like 112 on Only You, the original version and the remix, and Total on Can't You See, both reaching the top 20 of the Hot 100. By the end of the year, he was the top selling male solo artist and rapper on the U.S. pop and R&B charts. Even he starred in an episode of Martin and New York Undercover. He also befriended basketball player Shaquille O'Neal. Shaq said in an interview they were introduced during a listening session for Give Me the Loot. Biggie mentioned him in the songs and in the lyrics, and thereby attracted him to his music. Shaq requested a collab with him, which resulted in the song You Can't Stop the Rain. According to Puff, Biggie wouldn't collaborate with anybody he didn't really respect, and that Big paid Shaq his respect by shouting him out. Biggie and Tupac's friendship came to an end on November 30th, 1994 at a recording studio in Times Square. Tupac was ambushed and shot inside of a lobby in the lobby of his recording studio in Manhattan's Times Square. They say the shooting looked like a setup and smelled like a setup. Later, Tupac publicly blamed Biggie, who was upstairs in a recording section at the time, and helping to set up the attack. Biggie, Puff, and the rest of the Bad Boy camp denied numerous times their involvement in the shooting. Later, Tupac got convicted on sexual abuse charges and sentenced to 18 months to 4.5 years. While incarcerated, there was rumors about Biggie's record, Who Shot You, that it was directed at Pac and his shooting, which was not true. He vowed for revenge at his former friend, Bad Boy, and everyone who did him wrong when he signed with Death Row Records. In his year of success, he became highly involved in a rivalry between East and West Coast, was started and instigated by the media to pin the two stars and coasts against each other and make fans choose sides. Numerous arrests followed, and then 1996, Tupac released the most greatest and most venomous diss track of all time called Hit 'Em Up. Hit 'Em Up, which is a diss track which he claimed he slept with Faith Evans, who was estranged from Big at the time, and that Big copied his style and image. Big referenced the first claim on Jay-Z's Brooklyn Finest, in which he reps, if Faith had twins, she probably had two Pacs. Get it? Two Pacs. However, he didn't directly respond to the track, stating in a 1997 radio interview that it was not his style to respond. On September 13th, 1996, Tupac died after being shot multiple times in a drive-by shooting in Las Vegas on September 7th, 1996, which left him in critical condition and fighting for his life. Big was truly hurt by Pac's tragic passing and extremely fearful for his own safety and life. His troubles in his personal life continued with his marriage and separation from Faith when she reportedly discovered that he'd been having an affair with Lil' Kim. Also, he began dating performer Charlie Baltimore, with the two appearing in public together, which he avoided previously with Lil' Kim. Eventually, Big and Faith eventually reunited when their son Christopher C.J. Wallace was born October of 96, in a time which Big was reportedly continuing his affair with Lil' Kim, whose record he was working on at the time, which was the classic Hardcore album. Later on, he was in a car accident that shattered his leg. He spent months in a hospital following the accident. He was temporarily confined to a wheelchair, had forced to use a cane and complete therapy. Despite his hospitalization, he continued to work on the album. Following the events, he spoke of a desire to focus on his peace of mind and his family and his friends. In February of 97, he traveled to California to promote his sophomore album, Life After Death, and record a music video for his lead single, Hypnotize. On March 7th, he presented an award to Tony Braxton at the 11th Annual Soul Train Awards in Los Angeles and booed by some of the audience. The following evening, March 8th, he then attended an after party hosted by Vibe and Quest Records at the Peterson Auto Museum. We never thought that this would be the last time we see Biggie alive, the last time that night. In the early hours of March 9th, 1997, he was murdered in a drive-by shooting at the young age of 24. 6 months after the murder of Tupac, the world and hip-hop community mourns Biggie's death. His funeral was on March 18th, 1997. The whole hip-hop community and thousands of fans paid their respects and saying their goodbyes as the King took his last ride throughout Brooklyn, where a few incidents happened as they blasted Hypnotize heavy and super loud in remembrance of Biggie. On March 25th, 1997, his sophomore album, which became the double disc of Life After Death, was released 16 days after his death. It featured collabos with guest artists such as 112, Jay-Z, Lil' Kim, Maze, Bone Thugs and Harmony, Too Short, Angela Winbush, DMC from Run DMC, R. Kelly, Locks, and Puff Daddy. This album was the amazing and classic sequence to Ready to Die and picks up with the last song, Suicidal Thoughts, and Life After Death was released to a amount of amount of critical praise and commercial success. The album sold 690,000 copies in its first week. The album hit #1 on the Billboard charts after making a premature appearance at number 179 due to street date violations. The album featured a much wider range of guests and producers than its debut. The production for the album was handled by DJ Premier, Easy Mo B, Havoc from Mobb Deep, The RZA from Wu-Tang, Stevie J, and other members of Bad Boys in-house production team, The Hitman. Its lead single, Hypnotized, was the last video recording which Big would participate. His biggest chart success was his follow-up to More Money, More Problems featuring Puff Daddy and Mace. Both singles reached #1 on the Hot 100, making Wallace the first artist to achieve this feature after his death. The third single, The Sky's the Limit, featuring 112, was noted for its use of children in the music video directed by Spock Jones. On July 22nd, 1997, Puff Daddy released his debut album which was titled No Way Out, featuring Big on 5 songs, notably the 5th single, Victory. The most dominant single from the record was I'll Be Missing You, featuring Puff, Faith, and 112, which was dedicated in Biggie's memory. At the 1998 Grammy Awards, Life After Death and its first 2 singles received nominations in the rap category. The album was won by Puff. No Way Out and I'll Be Missing You won the award for best rap performance by a duet or group, which More Money, More Problems was nominated. 2 more albums followed, with the 1999 release Born Again and the 2005 Duets, The Final Chapter. To be all the way honest, as a dedicated and lifetime Biggie Smalls fan, I definitely wasn't feeling both albums because the guest appearances and the productions was so weird and awkward, because if Biggie was still alive, I just couldn't see him collaborating with some of those people on there. In 2009, the autobiographical Notorious was released. I remember going to the movies at my favorite spot in Times Square during the weekend with my cousin and twin brother. I was so excited that we was going to see a movie about the greatest lyricists of all time. And at the end of the movie, I remember the whole theater applauding the movie and Biggie excitedly. The Notorious B.I.G. impact on the music industry has been felt long after his death. The Brooklyn-bred rapper was in creating the hip-hop sound that we know, love today, and his legacy continue to be celebrated to this day. The constant question that always pops up in my head is, if Biggie was still alive, Will he still be making hot music and still be one of the greatest lyrics ever? The answer is yes. When it comes to the lyricism, no one can compete with Biggie. And most of y'all so-called favorite rappers of this garbage rap era winners this period. Drawn into a life of crime at an early age, he turned those experiences into lyrics that would fuse his rise and to become one of the most influential rappers of all time. On his birthday, the whole New York City and the borough of Brooklyn is having a joyful major celebration for the king. The celebration will extend far beyond Biggie's former neighborhood and bedside, including special cards, a lighting ceremony at Empire State Building, a national release of a new biography about his life. The cards will feature picture of the Notorious B.I.G. will be up for grabs, and vending machines at the Lafayette Avenue station, the Clinic Washington Avenue G station, Clinic Washington Avenue A/C line station, and Atlantic Avenue Barclays Center starting at 12:01 that day. Throughout the neighborhood, Biggie certainly changed since Biggie Smalls held rap battles in his barbershops. New York still can't stop at some of the remains of the rapper's upbringing in honor of his birthdays. The St. James Block, where he grew up, was formerly named Christopher Wallace Way in his honor in 2019. Christopher Wallace forever the greatest and undisputed rap king and savior of NY that brought so much to the game and to the city and will never be forgotten. Happy heavenly birthday to the forever king of NY and Brooklyn finest. Happy 50th birthday, Big. We forever love and miss you so much. Like I always say, let's celebrate our legends while they still alive. Give them their flowers, they love and respect, and recognition too. Thank you for enjoying this musical and birthday celebration with me throughout the video. Please don't forget to like, share, and comment on the video. Subscribe to my channel if you're new. Also, don't forget to turn on your notification for new videos. Stay safe and blessed. Have a good night. I'm out. Peace.